Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to a new episode of When You're Delusional, You're Gonna Be on TikTok. I do hope you're gonna enjoy the video, so let's just get into it.
Women often lack compassion for what men go through in our society. And when someone shows better than I ever could, I just let them speak.
So I felt like this was pretty interesting. So a woman who disguised herself as a man to find out how it is to live as a man unalived herself due to the psychological scars of how difficult life was for a man. Let's read on. Says she was a radical feminist who believed men live life on easy mode and tried to prove it by disguising herself as a man for 2 years. Instead, what she found out is men actually have it harder and wrote a book about her experience. Apparently, she had to quit after 18 months because she was starting to strongly dislike women due to how bad all of them treated her when they thought she was a man. So first things first, RIP to her, that's pretty sad. But to all you women who think life is just so easy for a man, this woman actually tried it. And she tapped out, and pretty much in the ultimate way. Most men have a hard time just being themselves in society without unaliving themselves. And you think that if you were a man, it would be easier for you? I think y'all really underestimate the difficulties of being a man sometimes.
I wonder where are all the angry man haters out there? Why are they silent? Why none of them are talking about this? Like the cretin that I showed in my second last video, I believe. The one celebrating men ending themselves. Where is she now? Where are all of them? Why none of them are talking about this? Is it because they can no longer yell patriarchy? And it's because of patriarchy that men end their own lives? This tragedy only happened on July 6th. Where are all of them? No man is actually celebrating this. Men are talking about it, but none of them are glad. All men consider this as a tragedy. Every man I know of, they'll all say this is tragic. Even the men that had hate, years of hate towards them, they're still consider this tragic. None of them will be celebrating. And yet all the men haters out there are silent. And how can they not be? They did this. They know they did this, and that's the only reason they're silent. And they're gonna be silent from now on, at least until a man is ending up doing something like this. And they're gonna start celebrating it again. Hypocrisy at its finest, isn't it?
Hi, I want to say a little bit about patriarchy and feminism. Number one, feminism is not about saying that men and women are the same, nor is it saying that one is better than the other. It's actually saying that we are of equal value. And if you are somebody who believes that all human beings are of equal value and equal worth, then you're a feminist and you're for equality. So what patriarchy does is it requires the subservience of women in order for men to identify their masculinity, because masculinity in patriarchy is defined by protection and provision. Now, if you have people who are independent of that and don't need that, then you don't have any way of identifying your masculinity, and therefore we get this backlash that we're seeing right now, which is toxic masculinity. So there's a lot of people out there, especially men, who are talking about how patriarchy is actually our nature. Now, unless you've been taking any kind of evolutionary biology classes or you've been in school in the last 5 years, you're probably been given an outdated information on the history of human evolution and what our nature actually is. Now, personally, I read a lot about evolutionary biology because I find it fascinating, as well as human sexuality. So I'm going to drop a few books that I've read, and I got my information below. But it's really important to note that in the last 5 to 10 years, evolutionary biologists are rewriting the way that human history is. And they're actually proving that patriarchy is not our nature and gender roles are not our nature. And this is why. The main thing is that human females are the only mammals on the entire planet that have hidden ovulation, besides the bonobo monkey. The bonobo monkey is our closest relative next to the chimpanzee. Now, out of all mammals, you, as a male or a female, cannot tell when another human female is ovulating. Why is that? Well, the new theory is that it's because it's hidden from other women, because our nature is actually a matriarchal society, just like bonobo monkeys. Now, matriarchy is not the opposite of patriarchy. It is not women in charge. It's actually horizontal power. It's egalitarian. And bonobo monkeys and matriarchal societies have no violence, no war, plentiful sex. Everyone shares the responsibility, and they all take care of babies, getting food, hunting, gathering, and protection. So understanding about evolutionary biology, where we are today, where we come from, the changes that we're seeing and learning every day, and how patriarchy damages men just as much as it does women, can help us together as people lead a better life into the future. I highly recommend you read some of the books that I listed below, and just remember that when I speak about patriarchy and I speak about feminism, it's about equality for all people.
That was long and painful, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. I have no problem with you comparing me to some monkeys. That's fine, you go right ahead. But there are a few things that you didn't mention. So let's take a look at the first one. Their society is also different. Bonobo groups tend to be more peaceful and are led by females. They also maintain relationships and settle conflict through sex. You want to live your life as an animal, you go right ahead. You want to live your life like these monkeys and get trained by 4 or 5 different guys every night? You be the best you can be, but let's keep reading. However, bonobo life isn't entirely violence-free. That can't be because you said matriarchal society are not violent. If two groups of bonobos come together, they may engage in serious fighting. That's one part you chose to leave out of your video, so let's move over to the second one. They are right now an endangered species. Scientists believe that the decline will continue for the next 45 to 55 years due to the bonobos' low reproductive rate and growing threats. So let me get this straight. You want us, the human species, to have the same future? You want us to become extinct in maybe what, 100 years? Nah, I think I'm gonna stop listening to you now. But just for fun, let's take a look at the books you're recommending. Sex at Dawn, Sex, Time and Power, Patriarchy Blues, Understanding Patriarchy, blah blah blah. I don't need to keep reading to understand the type of books, the type of ideology from those books you're trying to push on people. Let's take a look at some reviews for some of these books and then I'll stop talking. Enlightening and sensational. A winning combination if ever there was one. The lesson of prehistory. Loosen up, men. Your paternity isn't as important as you think it may be. And ladies, you do what you feel like, but please don't stray too far or too long. Another one. Mind-changing work. Go into this book with an open view. Everything will be tasted that you know, but at the end of the day it's just the book. Enjoy it. No. Third review. This book is a senseless piece of agenda-pushing propaganda. Polygamy is not natural. It is unethical to treat people as objects for your own perversion. Yeah, I wonder what type of propaganda they're trying to push. Can anyone guess?
Misandry is a made-up concept by terrible men.
If misandry is made up, what about this?
Drop a hot take. Men are trash.
Or what about this?
Let's discuss the fragile male ego.
Also this.
Today I ruined a man's day and it was the best feeling ever.
And lastly, can't forget about this.
Men just being men are inevitably gonna be trash.
But yeah, I guess misandry's just totally made up.
Yeah, I'm gonna take comfort in this. All of them look like trash. All of them look like one step away from a mental breakdown. And there's a pattern that you can see from far away and you can choose not to go deal with them. If that's what you want to do. If you're a man out there and you're listening to this or you're watching this, don't let them shame you into anything. Keep your head high. It's not toxic masculinity, it's just masculinity, so embrace it. And look down on these lunatics because they will never raise at your level. But anyway, I am done for today. I do hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you all for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.